Tes tes satu dicoba.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi Bapak. Selamat datang kami ucapkan kepada Bapak Dr. I Gusti Ngurah Agung Wijaya Mahardika SPD MPD. Selamat datang juga untuk Ibu Eni Sriwahyuni sebagai juri pada lomba storytelling pagi hari ini. Dalam kesempatan kali ini kita akan melakukan penjurian pada lomba storytelling yang akan dilakukan pagi ini, di mana ada 6 peserta dari madrasah yang sudah terdaftar dan sudah mengirimkan videonya. Baik, sebelum memulai penjurian, mari kita berdoa sesuai agama dan kepercayaan masing-masing, dengan harapan acara pada pagi hari ini berjalan dengan lancar. Berdoa mulai. Mungkin kepada Dewan Juri sebelum dimulai, apakah ada sesuatu yang mau disampaikan terlebih dahulu atau langsung dimulai? Bisa langsung dimulai. Oke. Baik, kita akan mulai penampilan yang pertama, yaitu peserta nomor undi 1 dari MTSN 4 Jembrana atas nama Aisyah Al-Rahte.
Allah, what should I choose? To serve someone I love, or to protect a trust given by Allah? This is the story of a girl and the heaviest amanah she ever carried. Her name was Alia. 17 years old, quiet, responsible, and known for one thing: people trust her. Every morning after Fajr prayer, Alia helped at a small grocery shop beside the mosque. She counted items carefully, returned extra change, and never spoke unnecessary. Until one afternoon, the shop owner, Uncle Hamid, called her closer. Alia, come here, he said, placing a small metal box in her hands. This box contains donations money for the mosque renovations. I must leave town for 3 days. The box was cold and heavy. I trust you, he continued. Insha'Allah, I will protect it, Uncle Hamid. That night, Alia placed the box under her bed. She raised her hands in prayer. Oh Allah, help me to stay honest, even when it hurts. The days came sooner than she expected. The next day, her best friend Isa rushed into the shop, eyes swollen with tears. Alia! She cried. My father collapsed. The hospital demanded payment tonight. Alia breathed cough. Huh? How much? Isa whispered a number Alia knew she didn't have. Nisa hesitated, then spoke carefully. Your lots of money, right? Just borrow it. Allah understand. You return it later. Alia felt the ground. What? No, Nisa. The money is not mine. But this is about my father. Nisa shut. Isn't saving life more important? Alia replied softly. Islam teaches us mercy, but it also teaches us amanah. I'm so sorry, Nisa. I want to help your father, but I can't. So, you just money for my family? The door slammed. Alia stood alone with a dress under her bed and jilt in her chest. That night, rain poured heavily. Suddenly, crash! The window shattered. Three shadows, figures burst in sight. Where's the nation's money? One demanded. For a moment, she wanted to lie, but her heart screamed louder, and her hands trembled. That money belongs to me. It belongs to Allah. One man laughed, raising a knife. Ha ha ha! Allah won't save you. Alia closed her eyes, and with all her strength, she cried, Allahu Akbar! The sound echoed through the street. Lights turned on, neighbors ran, siren approached. The thieves fled away. Alia collapsed on the floor. Alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, thank you for saving me. The next morning, when Uncle Hamid returned, and Alia told him everything, his eyes filled with tears. My daughter, you guarded this amanah better than many adults ever could. Just then, Nisa entered slowly. Alia, my father, he survived. The hospital's bills were paid anonymously. Uncle Hamid smiled. Nisa, it was from the mosque fund. Because amanah never causes loss. Allah replaces it with something better. Nisa looked at Alia, smiled. I was wrong. He chose Allah, and Allah chose us. My dear friends, honesty is not about being perfect, and amanah is not about being fearless. Is it about what we protect when no one is watching? Alia was just a girl, right? But her honesty showed 12 healed hearts and earned pleasure to Allah. That's all from me. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry if I made any mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
peserta selanjutnya dari MTSN 1 Buleleng atas nama Putri Gayatri.
It's a wonderful day. I want to relax. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody. Today I would like to tell you a story about friendship and social awareness. The title is The Bridges of Hope. Here's the story. In an Indonesian city, there was a small river called Murder River. The river separated two different worlds. On one side stood Permata Estate, a rich housing area. On the other side was Kampung Teratai, a small village with simple houses. A girl named Gita lived in Permata Estate. Every afternoon, she stood on her balcony and looked across the river. She often saw a boy sitting with some children. Who is that boy? Gita asked herself. One day, Gita asked her mother, "Mom, why does that boy always sit near the river with many kids?" Her mother smiled and said, "He is teaching them how to read, Gita." Gita looked surprised. "Teaching? For free?" "Yes," her mother replied. "Not everyone is as lucky as you." Gita said nothing, but her heart began to think. One night, heavy rain fell. The river became bigger and flooded Kampung Teratai. From her balcony, Gita shouted softly, "Oh no! The village is flooding!" She saw the boy running and holding wet books. Bagas said worriedly, "Please, don't be destroyed. This book has our hope." The next morning, Gita crossed the bridge. She said shyly, "Hi, my name is Gita. Can I help you?" Bagas looked up and replied, "Of course, thank you. My name is Bagas." As they dried the books, Gita asked, "Why do you care so much about these books?" Bagas answered, "Because knowledge can open doors. Even small books can change a child's future." Gita nodded slowly. "I have many books at home, but I rarely open them." That evening, Gita met her friend. "Guys, we need to do something." That one friend said. "About what? The village?" "Yes," Gita replied. "They need help and we can help." Another friend asked, "But why should we?" Gita answered firmly, "Because this is gotong royong. We are neighbor, not stranger." The room became quiet. Finally, that one friend said, "All right, I will bring some books. And I will bring clothes." Another added. Gita smiled. The next day, both communities worked together. A child from the village asked Gita, "Sister, will you come again tomorrow?" Gita laughed and said, "Yes, of course." Bagas said happily, "We will make this place a learning house." "What should we call it?" Gita asked. Bagas replied, Rumah Pelangi, because everyone is welcome here. On Independence Day, they celebrate together. Gita said to Bagas, I used to think my life was perfect. Bagas asked, and now? Gita smiled and answered, now I know my life is meaningful when I help others. Bagas replied softly, that is the true meaning of education. Ladies and gentlemen, this story teaches us that caring starts with small action. Differences should not separate us. Humanity is more important than status. Because the strongest bridges is not made of wood or iron, but of kindness, empathy, and caring hearts. That's all the story. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kita lanjut ke peserta yang ketiga, MTSN 4 Jembrana, Adila Nur Safira.
Every morning I wake up in pain, not because I'm old, not only because I'm sick, but because I don't know if today I can still afford my medicine. This body is weak, but my heart feels even weaker when I see my daughter pretending to be strong. She keeps smiling while hiding her fear. If one day Allah takes me, please don't let her lose her honesty just to save me. Because poverty hurt, but dishonesty hurt much longer. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, the honorable judges and all my beloved friends. Today, I would like to tell you about the story and title, The Price of Honesty. This is the story about a girl named Nisa. Nisa is a student at an Islamic boarding school. She was known as an honest and responsible santri. That's why she was trusted with whole donations money for orphan children. With sincerity, she said, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, we're collecting donations for orphans. If you want to help, you can donate any amount. May Allah reward your kindness. But actually, behind her smile, there was a secret she hid from everyone. Her mother was sick, very sick. Every day, her mother's coughing grew heavier. Nisa, please help me. Please bring me a glass of water. Here you are, Mom. Are you okay? It's okay, dear. I just need more rest. No, Mom, we need to see the doctor again and find the medicine for you. Inshallah, you will get better. I promise. But promises are hard when reality hits. The hospital bills keep increasing. They had no money left, and Nisa felt helpless. One night, Nisa stayed up late to count donations money again. Maybe I will count the donations money again. 5 million rupiah. Her heart stopped. It was the same amount her mother needed for treatment. Why? What does it match? This money is an amanah, but my mother needs help. But what if I just borrow it? Just once. No one will know. But no, this isn't mine. This isn't right. She whispered, cried. The next day, her mother's collapsed. They went to the doctor, and the doctor said gently, "Your mother needs treatment as soon as possible. It's urgent." Those words echoed in her mind like thunder. Nisa was so confused. She cried and prayed. Ya Allah, why is this debt so heavy? Please guide me. I cannot handle it alone. Can I save my mom's life? She cried all the night. The next morning, her ustazah found her crying in the prayer room. "Nisa, what's wrong?" "I was trusted with donation money, but my mother is sick, and I thought of using that money because I really need this." Her ustazah held her hand and said, "Nisa, what is entrusted to you must be protected. Allah will never leave you alone." Those words gave Nisa strength. That night, she made her decisions. She sold snacks, old book, and handmade craft. She worked after prayer with tired hands and teary eyes. "For you, Mom, and for Allah," she whispered. Slowly, orders came until one evening, Nisa counted the money she got. And surprisingly, 5, 6, 7. Ya Allah, it's more than 5 million. She finally could pay for her mother's treatment with her own honest effort. The donations money was returned complete and untouched. So, dear judges and friends, this story reminds us that honesty is not always easy. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it feels unfair. But honesty is never useless. Because when we protect an amanah, Allah will protect us in ways we never expect. As Allah said in Quran Surah Al-Inshirah, verse 5 to 6. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, which means, for indeed with hardship will be ease, and indeed with hardship will be ease. Like Nisa, who chose honesty over desperations, and Allah opened a door to help her. Maybe that's all about my story. Thank you for listening to me. And the last I say, wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Peserta selanjutnya dari MTS Generasi Emas atas nama Zafran Khairi Kurniawan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. With sincere gratitude, I would like to express my respect to the distinguished judges and honorable teachers. Today, I would like to tell you a story about a young man who faced temptation and fear, yet chose honesty and kept his promise. There was a young man named Iqbal. He was 15 years old. Every day before school, he helped his mother sell vegetables at a small roadside stall, while his father already passed away 5 years earlier. And since that day, life had never been easy for both of them. One late afternoon, on his way home from school, dark clouds covered the sky. Heavy rain began to fall. Iqbal ran until he found shelter under a big tree with a bench beneath it. Soaked and hungry, he sat down on the bench and stared at his old torn shoes. The sound of rain mixed with his thoughts of hardship and loss. Then he noticed something beside him. A black bag. It was lying alone on the bench. Iqbal froze. His heart started beating faster. Slowly, he opened the bag. His hands trembled. Inside the bag, there was a large amount of money, far more than he had ever seen in his life. His breath stopped. His mind screamed. Then he said to himself, "With this money, I could help my mother. She wouldn't have to wake up before dawn anymore. We could eat well, fix our leaking roof. I could pay my school fees." He looked around. No one was there. Suddenly, "Don't touch that bag!" Iqbal jumped in fear. A tall man stood behind him, his clothes dark, his eyes sharp and cold. "That bag is mine," the man said. "Give it to me, now!" Iqbal felt his knees weaken. Fear wrapped around his chest. But something about the man felt wrong. Dangerous. "What's inside the bag?" Iqbal asked, nervously. The man clenched his fist. "None of your business." At that moment, Iqbal suddenly remembered his mother's voice, the night his father died. "God will never give us more than we can handle. No matter how hard life becomes, never chase money through dishonest ways. Promise me, Iqbal, you will always stay honest and trustworthy." Those words gave him strength. Then he said to the man bravely, "If this bag is yours, then tell me what's inside." The man's face changed. Anger filled his eyes. The man lunged forward and tried to grab the bag. Iqbal shouted, "Help!" People nearby turned their heads. The man panicked, released the bag, and ran into the rain, never to be seen again. Iqbal collapsed onto the bench, shaking. Then that night, he called the number written on the document inside the bag. Then a middle-aged man came to their small house. His face was pale and full of worry. He introduced himself as Mr. Hardy. When Iqbal handed him the bag, he broke down in tears. "This money is for my daughter's surgery tomorrow. Without it, I would have lost her." The man offered Iqbal a reward, but Iqbal shook his head. "No, sir. My mother taught me that what is entrusted to us is not ours to take." Then, after the man left, Iqbal's mother hugged him tightly. "Oh, Iqbal, your mother is so proud, and your father is too." 1 week later, Iqbal was called to the school office. His heart sank. He feared it was about the unpaid school fees. But instead, he saw Mr. Hardy standing there smiling. My daughter survived, and it all because of your honesty. Then the principal handed him a letter. It was a scholarship! Then, at that moment, Iqbal finally understood that honesty is not weak, it is strong. Keeping a promise is not light, it is heavy, because it carries the trust, lives, and hopes of others. And he realized that integrity, once chosen, will always lead us to the right path. That's all about my story today. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Peserta selanjutnya dari MTSN 3 Jembrana atas nama Nyimas Alicia Putri Karman.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that spark inside you? The spark that makes you want to learn, to grow, and to achieve something great? Well, everyone, today I want to tell you a story that proves something very important. Even the smallest light can shine brighter than gold. This is a story about a young boy who did not have much wealth, nor many tools, nor many advantage. But he had something far more valuable: a strong heart, a curious mind, and a love for learning. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you a story entitled The Little Lamp of Knowledge. Listen carefully. Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a boy named Lucas. Lucas was not the smartest in his class, nor the fastest, nor the strongest. But he had something very special, a burning spirit inside him to learn and to achieve. Every morning, while his friends were still asleep, Lucas would wake up early, light his small lamp, and study his book that he borrowed from a nearby library. His family was poor. Sometimes he had no extra money to buy extra notebooks and proper tools to follow his class. But that doesn't stop Lucas. He never gave up. He wrote his lesson on an old piece of paper, believing that knowledge was far more valuable than gold. One day, his teacher announced a science competition in Lucas's class. Many students was very excited to join. Lucas also wanted to join, so he raised his hand and said, Oh, sir, I want to join too. But some of his classmates laughed at him. They mocked. Really, Lucas? You wanted to join? You don't even have proper tools. You can't win. But Lucas didn't mind the mockery. He remembered what the Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, said in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 5057. Khairukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allama. Said, the best among you are those who learn and teach the Quran. Inspired by this, Lucas worked hard. He found very possible tools on the way home, like sand, charcoal, bottles, and so on. When he arrived home, he cut the bottles in half, stuffed all the materials in layer by layer until it's full. Can you guys tell what is his project from the materials he found? The clue is it can purify water, and it is very simple to assemble. Yes, it is a water filter. That is his project. Finally, the day of the competition arrived. His classes was full of shiny projects, robots, machines, and colorful posters. Lucas just stood there quietly with his simple water filter. When it is his turn to represent the project, he spoke confidently. This is a water filter. It is made from recycled materials. Maybe it can help our town to have clean water. It is simple but useful. The judges leaned forward. They were curious. They tested his project and it worked perfectly. The judges was impressed. Time went by. The announcement of the winner began. The room fell silent. And then suddenly, Lucas won the first prize. He was very proud of himself. Ladies and gentlemen, from that day on, Lucas's little lamp became a symbol of hope in his town. His story taught us that success doesn't depend on success or wealth. It's by our courage to study hard and never give up. His little lamp not only lit up his home, but also the hearts of his community. So, dear friends, his little lamp reminds me of a beautiful teaching in Islam. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, said in Sunan bin Majah, hadith number 224, Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin, said, knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Dear participant, knowledge is not measured by wealth, status, tools, or anything, but by our sincerity, patience, and trust in Allah. Like Lucas, when we strive with a pure heart and never give up, Allah open doors we never imagined.
Peserta terakhir dari MTSN Karangasem atas nama Aulia Habibah.
Long ago, in the land of Bani Israel, in a wide valley, known as the Valley of Elah, near the town of Sapa, there was a day when faith will be tested and courage will be revealed. Not far from that valley, in the small town of Bethlehem, lived a young shepherd named David. He's not a soldier, carried no sword, no armor, only faith in his heart and a sling in his hand. That morning, the sky looked pale, the wind carried dust and fear. Two armies stood facing each other in the valley of Elah. On one side was the army of Bani Israel. They were great in number. Their weapons were complete. Yet confidence was missing from their face. Their eyes shifted nervously. Their hands trembled. Across from them stood their enemy. Then, from among the enemy's ranks, one man stepped forward. Each of his footsteps shook the ground. His body was enormous. His armor gleamed under the sun. His name was David. He lifted his sword high and roared with a voice like thunder. I am David. Who among you dares to fight me? Silence. No answer, no movement. Even the wine seemed to stop. Some soldiers lowered their heads. Others looked at another in fear. Whisper of of despair filled the air. He's too strong. We will never win. It is better to retreat. In the middle of that fear stood Talut, their king. He looked at his army. He realized something. It was not a lack of weapons that weakened them, but fear that had taken control of their hearts. Then, from the very back of the crowd, Talut stepped forward. He was not tall. His clothes were simple, and his face was calm. He looked at Talut, not with arrogance and not with fear, but with deep conviction. Talut spoke softly, yet clearly. Allow me to face him. The army was shocked. Some even laughed in disbelief. Huh! Him, that young boy, against Talut. Talut turned to Talut and said, Talut, do you know who you are facing? He is a warrior of great experience. Many strong men have fallen by his hand. Talut did not step back. He took one step forward and said firmly, Oh king, I used to protect my flock, but lions and bears came to attack. Allah help me defeat him, and the same God will help me today. Talut fell silent. Before him stood not just a young man, but unshakable faith. Talut walked toward the battlefield. He wore no armor, he carried no sword, only a sling and a single small stone. Saying this, Talut burst into loud laughter. His voice echoed across the valley. Wahahaha! You face me with a stone? Are you mocking me? Talut stopped. He looked straight into Talut's eyes. Then he spoke not loudly, but with words that shook every heart. You comes to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of Allah, the Lord of all worlds. The atmosphere changed. The army of Bani Israel held their breath. The enemy stood frozen. Then Daud placed the stone into his sling. He started easy, shoot steady, and finished well. Then the small stone flew through the air and struck Daud directly on his forehead. Crash! The giant fell to the ground. Dust rose. The earth trembled. Silence. Complete silence. Then cries of victory echoed across the valley. The army of Bani Israel fell to their knees. They cried. They embraced one another. Those who once afraid become brave. Those who once doubted become certain. Small young man with one stone and one strong faith had defeated their greatest enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of Prophet Daud is not about a sling. It is not about a stone. It is about faith that is stronger than fear. About the courage to step forward when everyone else step back. Because in our lives, each of us has our own job. Fear, doubt, or overwhelming challenge. And often, what we need is not extraordinary strength, but extraordinary faith. For when we walk with God, even one small stone can change the course of history.
Mungkin Bapak, Ibu juri ada yang mau disampaikan? Iya.
Dan juga rekan saya dari Dewan Juri, izinkan saya sebagai perwakilan dari Dewan Juri untuk menyampaikan beberapa hal. Yang pertama, saya sangat bahagia dan senang, bangga sekali melihat performance dari adik-adik semua, dan saya melihat ini sebagai sebuah langkah maju dalam pendidikan, terutama dalam pendidikan bahasa Inggris kita, karena dari sudut pandang kebahasaan, apa yang dilakukan oleh adik-adik itu sudah luar biasa. Jadi semua peserta saya pikir memiliki kelebihan masing-masing, dan dari sudut pandang kebahasaan, bahasa Inggris yang mereka gunakan itu sudah baik sekali. Dan saya sebagai penggiat pendidikan di bidang bahasa Inggris sangat bahagia dan sangat bangga melihat pencapaian adik-adik semua. Namun karena ini lomba, tentunya akan ada yang mencapai hasil yang diharapkan, ada yang menang, ada yang belum berhasil mencapai kemenangan tersebut. Tetapi yakinlah bahwa ini adalah kemenangan yang tertunda. Jadi siapapun yang nanti terpilih menjadi pemenang harus terus berusaha untuk mempertahankan dan meningkatkan kemampuan, apalagi adik-adik yang belum terpilih sebagai pemenang. Nah, terlepas dari hal tersebut, saya juga ingin menyampaikan bahwa dalam bentuknya yang paling murni, seorang pencerita itu adalah seorang yang mampu menyampaikan ceritanya secara meyakinkan dan menarik hati penonton, bahkan pada saat ia tidak menggunakan properti, latar belakang musik, ataupun kostum. Inilah inti dari kemampuan bercerita. Oleh karena itu, latar belakang musik, kostum, dan juga properti merupakan hal-hal yang seharusnya meningkatkan kemampuan dasar yang sudah dimiliki oleh para peserta atau seorang pencerita. Bertolak dari hal tersebut, maka satu hal yang harus menjadi perhatian adalah bahwa penggunaan properti, kostum, dan latar belakang musik jangan sampai mengganggu atau mengurangi performa dari sang pencerita. Dalam konteks teknik, misalnya jika musiknya terlalu keras, maka ini cenderung akan menutupi pengucapan atau pelafalan dari seorang pencerita. Nah, tentunya ini akan alih-alih meningkatkan performa, malah berujung pada penyampaian cerita yang tidak sempurna. Demikian juga penggunaan properti yang menyebabkan pencerita harus berhenti di tengah ceritanya karena harus mengambil properti, meletakkan propertinya. Ini juga nanti berpotensi mengganggu flow atau alur cerita. Jadi pada saat penonton sudah asik mengikuti cerita, tiba-tiba harus terhenti karena ada proses transisi properti. Ini dapat mengganggu konsentrasi dan ketertarikan para penonton. Demikian juga dengan kostum. Kostum seorang pencerita seharusnya memberikan nuansa, memberikan vibes kalau istilahnya sekarang, untuk mendorong para penontonnya ikut terlibat dan larut dalam cerita. Namun pada saat kostum pencerita itu hanya berperan pada satu karakter saja dari cerita yang dia sampaikan, sementara si pencerita ini bertanggung jawab menceritakan lebih dari satu karakter, maka ini justru nanti akan membuat penonton merasa terganggu. Karena pakaian atau kostum yang digunakan itu merupakan pakaian atau kostum dari karakter A, tetapi kemudian si pencerita harus mengambil peran sebagai karakter B. Nah, ini kemudian membuat penonton merasa oke, ini pakaiannya masih si A tapi karakternya si B. Oleh karena itu karakter yang digunakan kostum yang digunakan itu seharusnya membawa membawa vibes yang menarik perhatian dan melarutkan penonton, bukan mengikat penonton pada satu karakter saja. Nah, inilah yang saya pikir menjadi hal-hal yang bisa mendapat penyempurnaan untuk kegiatan storytelling ke depan. Dan satu lagi hal yang ingin saya catat adalah bahwa sudut teknis dari penyampaiannya juga sangat menentukan. Karena setiap pencerita itu memiliki dukungan teknis berbeda, maka final produknya juga beda. Ada yang suaranya terdengar jelas, ada suaranya yang sayang sekali tidak sejelas yang lain. Nah, ini tentu akan sangat mempengaruhi bagaimana pendengar, bagaimana penonton menikmati cerita tersebut. Kalau suara yang dihasilkan oleh pencerita yang mungkin disebabkan oleh daya dukung alat yang digunakan tidak begitu baik, maka ini juga akan mengganggu kenikmatan para penonton mendengarkan ceritanya dan juga usaha penonton memahami dan mengikuti alur cerita. Demikian juga jika alat yang digunakan tidak tepat, maka suara yang dihasilkan juga bisa tidak sempurna dan tidak jernih, sehingga hal tersebut juga mempengaruhi kenikmatan dan fokus dari penonton dalam mengikuti cerita yang disampaikan oleh sang penutur. Nah, ke depan saya harap hal-hal ini menjadi pertimbangan oleh baik pihak penyelenggara maupun juga peserta, sehingga setidak-tidaknya setiap peserta memiliki standar teknis yang serupa. Dan kalau buat saya pribadi, storytelling sebaiknya memang dilakukan secara luring sehingga setiap peserta memiliki kesempatan yang sama. Jadi adil, tidak ada yang dimenangkan atau sampai dikalahkan oleh keterbatasan atau kelebihan alat yang mereka miliki. Jadi kalau dilakukan secara face to face di hadapan jurinya langsung, maka benar-benar akan dapat menunjukkan kemampuan dari setiap pencerita. Tetapi sampai titik ini saya pikir apa yang dilakukan oleh panitia dan juga peserta sudah luar biasa. Jadi izinkan saya menyampaikan selamat dan apresiasi untuk semua peserta dan juga panitia yang sudah bekerja dengan sangat keras. Terima kasih karena sudah berusaha dengan sangat baik, dan saya harap ini bukan merupakan usaha terakhir. Terlepas dari kemenangan atau belum menang, saya harap adik-adik terus berjuang dan berlomba. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.